Welcome to the Faithful and True website, and we are thankful for your interest in the Men of Valor Workshop. And Chris and I want to take a couple of moments just to answer some regularly asked questions that we get about the workshop and the experience itself. I'm Greg Miller. I am the director of the Men's Workshop, and this is my colleague Chris Hardesty. The two of us, as well as another team of men, work to provide the workshop each month. And so we just want to take some time to share with you the questions that we get and to answer those. The first question is, how do I know if the Men of Valor Workshop is a good fit for me? Well, one of the things that I would say is the workshop is for any man who, because of the choices he's making in the area of sexuality, he's creating chaos for himself and others, and on his own he's been unable to stop. That's really who the workshop is for. It's not about your behaviors. It's not about how often you act out. It's simply if you can see that there's a pattern in your life, even if the pattern has been over years, that you are creating chaos for yourself and others, you're hurting yourself and others, and on your own you've been unable to stop, we would say the workshop is definitely for you.
Second question we have is, I don't think I'm a sex addict. Is it still appropriate for me to attend? And so it is not our intention at all to assign a label or a diagnosis while you're here at the workshop. It's our intent to meet you right where you are. We do use terms such as addiction and recovery to inform the treatment that we would recommend to you, to inform the lectures that we provide, to inform the exercises, the interventions that we do, those sorts of things. But it's not up to us to actually ascribe a certain label to you as well. We find that, labels, they have negative connotations. People often feel like, well, kind of maybe once an addict, always an addict. These types of attitudes around addiction. And so like I said, we just want to meet you right where you're at when you come to the workshop, and we'll let you decide where you fall.
Yeah. One of the things I would add is that for us, the term addiction and recovery have been incredibly helpful. So you are going to hear us use those. But however you talk about your own struggle and your own journey, what we would encourage is that whatever language you use, it is language that helps you to take it seriously and also to acknowledge the complexity of this particular issue in your life. And the next question is, my wife is worried about me staying in a hotel alone while I'm at the workshop without any accountability. What should I say to her? As you've identified, that here at Faithful and True, we do not provide housing, so each man is responsible for finding his own place to stay. And it is concerning for some women to know that their husbands are going to be alone in a hotel. What we would say is this is a great opportunity for you to begin to learn how to create safety for yourself. So one of the things that you may do is you can call the office and let the office know here that you are interested in having a roommate. We do not partner you with anyone. We don't arrange that. But if we get men who would like to have a roommate, we can put you in contact with each other, and then you can arrange that. And we also have men who have a friend come with them so that they aren't in a hotel by themselves. The other thing I would say is while you are here, we're going to be talking a lot about doing what you need to do to create safety for yourself. And we're going to be encouraging you to create accountability with the men that are here. And so even in the process of that accountability, you're not going to be alone. We're going to support you. And so having a conversation with your wife and letting her know what your plan is to be safe while you are here can be incredibly important. And one of the things that we see for the men who come is it's important for them to know that they can go on a trip like this and be safe and make wise choices.
Mm-hmm. Even in the first night you're here, we're going to be talking about accountability. We're going to be doing a lecture, a talk around the 7 principles of accountability according to the book of Nehemiah. So right away, you're going to have opportunities to practice accountability even in night 1 of the stay. So the next question is, should my wife come along with me? And it's important to know that the workshop we have lengthy days. And so Thursday and Friday are going to be roughly 12-hour days, and then Saturday you're going to be experiencing an 8-hour day. And then after the first day, Thursday, you'll also have an assignment that you'll work on as well. And so there's not much margin to actually interact with anyone who may be along with you, for starters. But in addition to that, we also find that if a wife comes along, especially early in recovery or wherever you're at on the journey, just her presence can cause some chaos between the two of you in the midst of this. And so a wife is often trying to work her own program as well, while now you're trying to get some traction in your own recovery here at Faithful and True, and it can just become quite chaotic. And so if from time to time a wife will come along with a man to the workshop, we wouldn't be against it necessarily, but it wouldn't be our first recommendation.
One of the other issues just to recognize is in the nature of y'all's relationship, are y'all in a place where each of you is able to support the other in the recovery? Because that's what we would hope, is that if she is able to come, it's coming in order to support you and encourage you in your own journey as you become the man that God created you to be. The next question is there individual one-on-one counseling available while I'm at the workshop? And the answer to that is no. As Chris has identified, the schedule is very packed, it's very full, and so therefore there's not additional time where you could meet with one of the counselors one-on-one. What is also true, though, is while you are here, you are going to get some very specific time directed at you and your journey and your story. And we spend one day in small groups, and in that small group, you're going to have an extended amount of time to tell your own story. And in fact, there's a tool that we use to help organize and facilitate that. So even though there's not one-on-one counseling available, there is a time of one-on-one focus specifically on you and your story.
Mm-hmm. So are there any prerequisites required before attending the workshop? So sometimes guys will ask, is there a book I need to read before I come, or did I need to be part of a small group or anything like that before the workshop? And the answer is no. We want you to come exactly where you are, and we'll meet you where you are when you come to the workshop. And I think it's just that simple as far as that. So no prerequisites required before you come to the workshop. Just come as you are. Occasionally, guys will actually sign up for the workshop maybe even a day or two before. So it's not uncommon for me to see a man here at the workshop. He'll come in a given week, and it's his first kind of entry into counseling and that sort of thing, and he learns about the workshop, and the next thing you know, he signed up and he's here on Thursday.
The next question is, why is it so expensive, or how do you determine the cost? And one of the things just to understand is that having a Faithful and True center itself is expensive. There are costs that go along with that. And so part of what your fee goes towards is helping to facilitate the Faithful and True center and the work that we do here. And we also have a trained staff, and they are paid through the fees that we receive. One of the things, though, that you may notice is if you've done a lot of research, actually the cost of Faithful and True is comparable to what other programs have, and in some cases we're actually less expensive. So we want to acknowledge that it is a significant investment in time and money, and it has also been our experience for the men who come that it's been well worth it.
Mm-hmm. Who will be leading the workshop? And so, of course, Greg will be leading most of the workshop in terms of the teachings and so forth. I will also do a number of teachings as well while you're here. And that's in the large group format, and in the small group format, we'll have several other potentially small group leaders. And so it's this team effort. It's this combination of leaders throughout the weekend that lead really both the kind of the sharing of teaching and also the small group experience as well.
The next question is, what type of men attend the workshop? And I think what you're going to discover is it's a wide range of men who participate, both geographically as well as their ages. And we have men who come from all over the country to be here, and also from other countries. You're going to see men who are here in 18, 19 years old who are just beginning their journey. But we also have men who are later in life, in their late 70s, come and be a part of the workshop. So there's a wide range of men who come. And the other thing is, a lot of times men will have questions about, where are men in their own recovery? And as we've identified, you're going to see men who have just started recovery. As Chris identified, there were men who might sign up the day before, their life just exploded. And so the Men of Valor Workshop is their first day in recovery. We have other men, though, who have been in recovery for a couple of years and they're just looking for some encouragement or some direction or a tune-up, and we can see that that is helpful for them to come and be a part of that too. So you're going to see a variety of different ethnicities, as well as geographic locations, as well as a wide age range too.
I think most of the states have been covered as far as attendees, and then we have 2 maps posted in our center, a U.S. map and a world map, and I was counting today, and I think we're at about 30 countries represented on the world map as well. What is the agenda and format of the workshop, and is it all lectures? And as we've already stated, really the format of the workshop is a large group, small group format. And so the first day it's largely teaching, largely kind of getting a grasp and understanding of what is addiction, what is accountability, some of the basic principles and concepts that are foundational for us at Faithful and True. The second day is mostly in a small group format where you're actually diving into your own story, telling your own story, observing other men tell their stories as well. It's a very powerful day. And then the last day is, okay, what's next? And we're talking about aftercare. We're talking about what resources are available. What do you need to do to leave here to be successful? And that's really the format of the workshop. We also include a lecture or multiple lectures from Dr. Mark Laser. 1 or 2 you'll see from Dr. Mark Laser. We've had an opportunity, thankfully, to archive some of his lectures, and so we are encouraged to show those to you so you can hear directly from Dr. Laser in terms of some of his own teachings personally.
The other thing that I would add is, as Chris said, it's about the lecture, it's about being in a small group. The third piece of the workshop is really about community, that we are very intentional while you are here to create space and opportunity for you to be in community with other men. And most of the men who have come to the workshop have lived lives of isolation, and we know that God has created us to be in community, so we want to invite men to be in community, for it to be safe, and for it to be part of the experience that they have while they're here. And the next question is, do you have any research regarding the effectiveness of the Men of Valor workshops? And the answer is yes. Several years ago, Dr. Rick Underwood did a PhD study on our workshop. For 6 months, he came each month and did a pre-test and a post-test so that men would take a test prior to the workshop beginning, and then they took a test after the workshop was over. And what the results showed pretty significantly was when the men left here, they left here with significantly more hope and significantly less shame. And one of the questions that I get many times as the director of the men's workshop is, what difference does it make, or what difference can 3 days make? And what I know is in those 3 days, if you are able to leave here with more hope and less shame, that's going to help to create the trajectory of your life moving forward. One of the questions I get is, does the 3 days make a difference? And I would say absolutely. If you want to remodel your bathroom and you want to work on it an hour each week, you are going to be able to remodel your bathroom, and it's just going to take a lot of time, and at points you may get discouraged. But if you're able to set aside an entire weekend and say, for this weekend, all I'm going to do is remodel my bathroom, what's going to happen is you're going to make progress. You're not going to finish, but you're going to make enough progress, and you're going to have enough of a vision that you leave that experience with hope that one day the bathroom can be remodeled. Well, that's what we are wanting you to experience while you are here. For 3 days, we're going to be focusing on your work and on your recovery. And at the end of that, when you leave, we want to send you out where you have more hope that it is possible to live free and you are not consumed by the lies of shame.
It's been said that the workshop is the equivalent of 6 to 9 months of individual one-on-one weekly therapy. And we really believe that that's true. And it's just a fantastic way, as Greg said, to really get a jump start on your recovery and to get some traction there as well. The last question actually is, do you offer aftercare? And the answer is yes, we do offer aftercare here at Faithful and True. Some components that we feel are critical are one-on-one therapy or counseling here at the center. We also offer these options remotely as well. Group here at the center, so we have a variety of groups that you can attend. Again, remote options as well. And we offer a variety of other intensive experiences also. So we offer a wives intensive, and we offer a couples intensive. So we like to just kind of give you the options and let you pick and choose what's going to work for you. I mean, we'll also give you recommendations as well. But ultimately, you're empowered to make the decisions around what will work for you in your recovery, whether you live close by or whether you live remotely someplace in the United States or somewhere else in the world for that matter.
And again, we are thankful for your interest in the Men of Valor Workshop, and we know that we may not have answered all of your questions. And so if you do have other questions about our workshop, you can contact the office here, and we will be happy to talk to you and see if there's anything that we can do to support you as you consider coming to the Men of Valor Workshop. Again, thank you for your time.